So we've brought our £33 Deity T-Mac specials off of AliExpress on a little trip with us. So these pedals are now going to get fitted to this Commencal Meta SX, which I've just picked up from the Commencal headquarters here in Andorra. And these pedals are going to do the whole season on this bike. So they're going to do thousands of K in tough conditions, and we're going to see how they work out. This packaging looks very authentic. The pedals themselves come in these left and right packets, which you would expect from a real item. And as you can see, they are very well finished. I have been through the Deity website looking at this exact set of pedals, and they do look identical. I mean, there's so little to suggest that these are anything but real, which is very confusing. The logos look right, they're etched on, and I compared the axles. I mean, the axles on these and the axles on the Deity website, looking at these pedals, look identical. So I am wondering whether these are in fact some form of factory second. It seems strange to me that this £139.99 set of pedals would be retailing on AliExpress for 33 quid, depending on the day you buy it, obviously. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing to suggest that they're not real. However, as you'll see with some of my other videos recently, I've had some less positive experiences with branded products from AliExpress. So overall, I do have a feeling that these probably are in some way, shape or form not authentic, despite the fact that everything about them looks real. And there you have them mounted up on the bike, ready to ride. Like I say, these are going to do some big miles. So we will soon learn whether they hang on or not. Expect these to be racking up a few thousand K over the next few weeks. So I'm continuing to put the T-Macs through their paces, wherever they are, whether they're real or something else, but I've now had these on the bike for 4 months. They've done a lot of distance. They're still holding up pretty well. They've had a lot of rock strikes, they still look all right. They're spinning smoothly. The only thing that I obviously still have present is, you'll have to excuse the noise, I'm on a lift going up a mountain here, so bit of a cloudy day here in Andorra, but yeah, I'm on the lift, so that's where you've got a bit of background noise. This is where the bike is. But anyway, yeah, so there is a little bit of looseness in the axle. It's tiny. It's exactly the same as it was after a week. It hasn't got any worse. It's obviously not going to get any better. Although when I get back to the UK, I'm going to pop this apart and see whether there is actually something you can adjust in there. They still feel really smooth. They're holding up fine. Like I said, they've been bashed against a lot of rocks over, yeah, probably a couple of thousand kilometres now. And yeah, they're doing a good job. I mean, I'm really, really hard pressed to sort of see any reason why these aren't actually authentic. They've been doing a good job. And just like that, here we are back in the workshop in the UK. It's a few months later, as you can probably tell from the facial hair. But I have here the pedals, and the pedals did the full 4-month season through our guiding season in Andorra. That basically means they were ridden 5 days a week.
which obviously puts mileage on these things pretty quickly. And bear in mind, we rack up a lot of descents every single week. Typically, we'll do 3 or 4 big descents a day. And our descents, a small one is 600-700 meters, a big one is maybe 12 or 1300 meters, and a lot of them are around 1000 meters vertically. So you're talking 10k of descending pretty much every time you head downhill. So you're probably going to descend, let's say, 25k a day on these pedals, 5 days a week. When we do a day when we're riding at the bike park, which we do sometimes, we'll stick twice that on them. So the mileage these have racked up is staggering, and we break stuff really, really, really quickly. Yeah, okay, we've lost 1 or 2 pins. And when I say 1 or 2, I literally mean 1 or 2. Most of the pins are still present and correct. The pedal bodies have stood up to the use and abuse very, very well. The axles, which are reported on having gone a little loose, never got any looser. They went slightly loose after a week, but they've gone a little bit graunchy. You can probably hear that. Don't sound fantastic, but like I say, I have destroyed pedals which cost 4 times as much as these things within a few weeks. They've held up very, very well. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open these up, like I said, and I'm going to have a look at the axles inside them. I have found some imagery of the genuine Deity T-Mac axles. And if they look the same, I'd be pretty hard pressed to find any reason to think that these weren't genuine. Why they are genuine and why they're on AliExpress for so little money, that begs another question. So, are they seconds? Are they excess stock of some kind? Are they off the back of a Chinese lorry somehow? Well, like I say, let's open them up and see what is in here and see whether we can figure it out. I'm sure we're not going to need that much resistance. Let's get the end cap out. So here we go. That is the pedal coming apart. I didn't think they would be, but there is actually, by the looks of it, a little cartridge bearing in there. On the outboard side of the axle, you've got a little cartridge bearing, and then it just runs on a bushing on the inside edge, which is basically what's probably come loose, I would suspect, with all the amount of use it's had. Let's just clean it up a little bit and see what's underneath it. Now, on pedal number 2, I've immediately run into a problem, which I popped the end cap off, and try as I might to remove the nut on the end of the axle, it does not want to come out. So maybe we've just answered the question as to why these are cheap. Are they factory seconds because they've been misassembled? Is it a bad batch? The axle, however, to me is very similar, but I don't know. Let's compare it with the picture. Let's see what we think in a second. Could be an old specification of axle, because that might explain why this one would not disassemble. So the lock nut will not come out at the end of it. So maybe these are genuine, but they're factory seconds because there is a batch issue. Who knows? I don't know. So the big question is, are they real? And the rather annoying answer is, I really don't know. Everything points to them being genuine in so many ways. They look right, the packaging is right, they lasted fine. I know this is quite frustrating because I'm not really giving you an answer, but my feeling is that if you want a set of Deity T-Macs, buy a set of Deity T-Macs. Don't buy a set of AliExpress Deity T-Macs. And the fact that I can't disassemble this pedal shows you why. So even if they are real and they are factory seconds, they were factory seconds for a reason, and it could well be because of the fact that there's an axle issue with these, and that could also explain why this axle does not look like a real one, or a current real one. So, to cut to the chase, would I buy them again? No, I wouldn't. I would personally not buy these pedals at all. I found them a little bit clumpy compared to my preferred pedal of choice, which is the Stamp. I found they caught on rocks very easily. They've got a nice shape to them. They feel really good underfoot, good concavity. But the problem is I found that I smack them on rocks constantly. In a way that I don't with a Stamp, which has a slightly more rounded profile and also a lower profile on the outside edges. And that is where I am finding these pedals were catching, is this outside edge stands very, very proud. So purchasing is always a personal thing. If you're looking for a cheap pedal, then maybe the currently available non-Deity branded equivalent of these, which look identical, could be a good buy because they will last you, judging by this set, if they are the same thing rebranded. If these were seconds and there's still some around, they could be worth a crack for something for a short period of time, knowing that they're going to be disposable. If you want to know that you're going to get something with longevity to it and you want to be a little bit more eco-conscious and be able to keep your pedals alive for longer, which is something I like to do, I like to replace bearings and pins, then they're possibly not a good bet, in which case you're better off paying the full whack, sucking it up at the start, and knowing you've got a product that's going to last you a bit longer, hopefully. So yeah, AliExpress, real or fake? I'm going to come down on the side, I think, of fake. I don't think they're real. And with that, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.